What up, y'all? So this is the introduction to Show. It's Show. No, you wish I'd say fun. Give over that. So Show is a very neutral, heavy, and gimmick character. His neutral is rather strong because of his normal range being like pretty significant. His sweep even hits far. JB, like he can maintain space rather well, and he's also rather consistent when it comes to combos, just because of the fact that essentially one B&B, all you need. He doesn't even have corner routes to be specific. Like any route that works mid screen also works on corner. There is nothing that's corner specific for this character. So he's rather consistent across the board when it comes to damage. So gimmick wise, you have this move that steals the corner. Like that's already something to keep in mind. You have the spot dodge, which also has follow-ups. That follows in the 5C. Air version follows up in J2C. You have this Rekka series, Flash, Rising, Destructive. SB Flash Fang can be a neutral deterrent. SB Rising Fang can also be a pseudo reversal because it rises very fast between the air and keeps air options. Then SB Destructive Fang is TK overhead. That's like easy way to put it. And it's also where we get into talking about what Show is best at compared to a lot of other characters, damage extensions. Damage and combo extensions galore. So, this character offers so many extensions, either based off of having meter or having the execution to do something. And that's what this video is about to showcase. I will tell you now, I have all of Show's section already recorded. So after this video drops, all of that is going to drop after it. I'll have very few notes in it because a lot of it is self-explanatory and or explained in this video. So you don't have to worry too much about it. Just expect some repetition just because of the fact that I need to showcase the damage off certain things because the damage varies pretty drastically with this character. On certain cases, like usually you're not going to do anything below 2.4k or like 2.3. Like he's pretty consistent when it comes to like 2.5 above. But like when you're doing the extensions, the way you do the extension can kind of change how your damage works. So let's get into talking about extensions. First, let's talk about the crouch confirm one. You'll see this the least. So on crouch, SB Flash Fang combos in the 2A. And that's just because it has rather fast recovery. So you can do something like this. Cool, right? It also does slightly more damage if it's actually done this way, but 5C by technicality is actually a better starter. Alright, easy, simple, not too hard. Then we're gonna get into what's common in his hard ones. Let's get into Cara SB Destructive Fang. Cara SB Destructive Fang is pretty annoying depending on how you do it, especially if you do it the most common way. So let's get into that. So Cara first, for those who are newer to fighting games, Cara is using another move or tool from your kit to put you in your proximity range or effective range of something else. Usually you'll hear Cara throw. Like Adachi, for example, his command grabs, right? This is 214C. His throw from here whiffs, right? His 5A though here hits. His 5AA moves forward. So here, boom, boom, bam, right? His sweep moves forward. This is really gimmicky. I don't know how to set up a proper range for this. I think it's up there. Nope. Yeah, I don't know how to time this, but he can do this with sweep as well, where he just sweeps and puts you in his effective range for doing that. For Show, you're going to see this from his high speed movement JB or JC normal, and I'll talk about those cases after I get over the normal case. So the normal case for Sho is from High Speed Movement from his BNB Rekka Rekka series. So Rising, I mean, shoo, Flash, Rising, High Speed Movement, Flash, Rising. Right? So on that second set, you're going to use another C High Speed Movement, which during Rekka, you only have to press C. You don't have to sit there and press 2, 3, 6 C, just C. And then even for Destructive Fang, that's just AB. And you're going to Piano Link that to sit there and get him to stall from the C High Speed Movement stall that he kind of gets, if you notice. Like, he kind of stalls for a second before he starts moving. You're going to get that stall, and then you're going to sit there and buffer directly into SB Destructive Fang to sit there and get a combo extension with 2A. I can say this being the most common one is also kind of the hardest, just because there's no clear indication of the timing. The best way I say it to people is that you sit there and do this, right? Then you kind of give a little bit, I mean a very tiny bit of time between if the game doesn't do weird things. That you just give ever so tiny bit of time just for the other character to rise a little bit, so that way it's pretty sure you should be underneath them for the buffer, and then you sit there and do the piano link and it should work. I can't say it's 100%. I have to say, like, there's cases like where that will just like whiff. Like, if usually I think if you do it too fast like that, it usually will whiff, and or you get the case where I did earlier where you got to see high speed movement but then you got nothing after, even though I did the buffer. Or there's another case where if you do it too fast during the Rekka, it like completely skips like the C high speed movement and it just goes to the SB Destructive Fang. Like, weird cases like that. But if you have it with the delay, usually you should be fine. It's just really unique. That's just, I was out of range. But that's the most common version. Now we're going to get into the easier versions that are not as common. So we're going to talk about Okusan's original version, then a version that I made specifically for certain hits. Okusan is the pioneer of this character, like completely. This character got put on the map because of Okusan, and they deserve all the credit in the world for it. So one of their ways of doing this extension that you would see, I've only seen them do it usually off of A normals, and that's usually just because it's better and also gives setups. Specifically, it gives access to 2 safe jumps, which you'll see in the video section, which I have all pre-recorded. All of that is recorded, and I'm doing this actually as the last video I'm recording to get this all out to you. I'm gonna have this upload, then drop all of that. I can't say it's too many videos just because he doesn't have corner combos. Anything that works mid-screen works in the corner, and he has nothing that's actually corner specific. All of his combos are literally a BNB, spend 25 meter, or do you have execution to do something? And those execution routes will be the last I showcase in this video, which is going to go way longer than I expected to. I just looked at OBS and noticed it's at 8 minutes. This will probably be a 15-minute video. So he'll do this follow-up, right? He'll do the first Rekka, give up on the second Rekka series, and then he'll go in the JB. And the convenience about this is that JB now gives you a clear indication of when the time the SB Destructive Fang. Because if you're too low, and I like about there, like a little bit lower than there, you'll sit there and win, right? So you need the SB Destructive Fang to come out. So as soon as you get lower than the character, like that, you'll do SB Destructive Fang, and that will still combo into 2A. Right? I'll also talk about sweep briefly. So for a lot of characters, once you're doing these extensions, once you do the 2B and 2 sweep, you need to delay the sweep. You can't delay it too long. You need to delay the sweep just because of the fact that since he has a 2-hit sweep, a lot of cases you'll get the first hit to hit, but not the second hit, and you need both for you to properly get a combo. Or to properly end your combo after that. So be prepared to sit there and always get used to a slightly delayed sleep. There's some characters you don't. I think like Yukiko's one for some reason. If it's not Yukiko, it's TA. Like one of them you don't have to delay. but more often than not, expect a delay to sit there and fix your sweep so both hits hit. But as I'm showing, like this is actually rather easy to time. The only thing you gotta know is that you can't get too low. Like if you're too low, clearly you'll just sit there and whiff like this. Like, but usually if you do it right after they get above you, you should be fine. Like there's cases like this where I'm being bad and I'm dropping, but I think it's actually just two-waying weird. Like I'm two-waying either late or something. But this, with a clear indication visually to time it, is usually easier and more consistent. And I'm just bad now after I did it like 3 times. And that's the JB version. So the version that I had to make, and that's because I got a lot of random sweep hits, right? People randomly get hit by sweep, and it's like you get no damage on sweep. Compared to anything if you get random sweep starter, just because you can't do like the full thing. Regardless of how much you delay the second follow-up on the first set of Rekka, like there's no way you're going to sit there and get the A set of Rekkas to combo properly with the first Flash Fang unless like it's fatal. So what I did is I made the extension with JC. So with JC though, it's rather different because instead of being off the normal, you'll just do JC straight into SB Destructive Fang and that would be fine. But you need to set your height properly for Show to be low enough for the 2A to connect. So in order to do that is that you have to delay that second Rekka as late as you possibly can. Like that rising Fang has to be as late as you possibly can. So that way you'll hit about there and you should always land before the other character. The lower the better. But like you can still do this from up here. It's just so much harder to time. Like I've gotten up here a few times, and I'm probably not going to do it up here now just because like I feel like the game hates me. But I can say it does work from up there. It is just drastically harder to time. So I always recommend if you're doing this off sweep, try to get it as low as possible. Don't even hesitate. Just try to get it as low as possible for consistency. I can also say about this is that since you're doing it this way though, you're going to land on the ground so fast that at the same time while you're pressing 2A that you might not get the 2A. Sometimes like the 2A just might not happen because you might have done it right before you hit the ground. Because you're just like, yeah, it's fast. So it's like, just do it fast. And then you end up actually missing the 2A. Because the fact that you landed faster than you thought. I mean, you landed slower than you thought because it's normally so fast. So you just didn't get 2A at all, so you just went straight into your B1 landing. But I would say this is rather consistent, even though you're debatably losing a bit of damage. For both versions from JB and JC, you're debatably losing a bit of damage, but it's not the worst. And this video is going longer than I think. Because I said 15, I'm going to have to push longer than that. Because now I have to get into another shout out. So, as of recent, the main innovator for this character has been Loxheart. They found a very unique route as an extension that actually helped me find an extension that I will show after this that works normally in B&Bs off of anti-airs. So, Loxheart found an extension where if you time a jump loop, and we're calling these re-jump routes correctly. If you time a jump loop properly from an anti-air hit, you can sit there and extend your combo. Because normally you do like something like this, right? Like that's all you're gonna get. That's all you expect. Or if you're good at delaying a sweep off 5B, you can sweep better. And I'll probably drop this right now. Why not? Like, that's probably the best you're gonna get, right? That's like from a normal standard. I was like, hey, I got an anti-air, it's non-counter hit, what do I do? So if you do this, you could actually extend the combo if you get this at the proper height. I am too high. I keep catching high. So as a heads up, I don't know if I've said it already, as for sweep, for a lot of cases for sweep, if you're hitting it from 2B into sweep, you'll have to sit there and delay the sweep just because of the fact that a lot of characters will be too high for the second hit of your sweep to connect, and you need that second hit to connect so you can actually finish Rekkas and etc. to actually get a proper special cancel window. And also, look at that drastic, and I mean drastic difference in damage. It's like 600 damage. But yeah, get used to that. If you do 2B in the air and you're trying to come in the sweep, that you have to delay it. You're just not delaying it drastically, but you're delaying it enough compared to what you think, just to like the end of the, like where you feel you press 2B, or the end of the 2B animation where you already feel like you swung down, just so both hits of sweep connect. And that's very important for going for my extension. Once again, shout out to Lockhart for that jump loop extension from a re-jump combo. So my extension, and I still need to test this, I will add what characters it works on in the description eventually to this video and the videos containing this extension. So from normal routes, and I'm also, let me say also that I will drop this guaranteed. I don't expect me to do this first try, because I'm rather new to it even though I just created it. From normal routes, the same thing like Okusan, instead of doing double Rekka, on that first set of Rekkas, if you do a jump into a delayed B, you can actually combo into 2B on some characters. There's a few characters that I can see obviously it doesn't work, and that's because of hit property stuff, considering float heights. But Adachi being the case, first try, or second try, so. Now this, I can say, is rather annoying at times. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't recommend this. Like, I'm just going to straight up say I don't recommend this if you play on net play a lot, just because extra 3 frames of delay plus like actual net play lag. But this is extremely worth it if you can sit there and hit it. Like, this adds a lot to meterless show damage that you just don't normally get. Like BNB off 2B 3202. I'm pretty sure doing this with the extension, if I can hit it properly, does either 3.5 or like 3.7. I have the route actually recorded. Like I said, all of this is actually already done, and I'm just recording this last. But as I struggle to showcase this to you, to also show you, on top of my execution not being God, this is actually just a rather hard route just because of delay. I usually have to say you want to hit the JB as late as possible, and then you do a small, and I mean an ever so small delay on the 2B, because if you wait too long, it's just not going to work like that. But if you wait just enough, once you hit it from a proper height, if I can get the proper height one more time. Game is telling me no, I hit it once and it's like that's too much, or twice. And now I just can't get the sweep combo because I can't delay. But it's like if you hit that at the proper height, you will easily add damage. It's just rather annoying to do. I'd like to finish the route, but to keep the video before 20 minutes or just after 20 minutes, I'm going to actually say I'm going to call this long video. I want to say thank y'all, especially anyone that was waiting on Naoto and is now viewing this instead, because of the fact that I need to finish Naoto section and I am currently testing things. Specifically, it's just like fatal routes instead are in the corner. I can say right now for Naoto, I have that route currently labbed at a speculation of it at least breaks you into awakening, which means the poison damage before I'm talking about the route damage alone is like 2k or close to 2k. So expect that to finish sometime. I won't be able to tell you when. Expect that to finish sometime. But all of show stuff will be out today after this video drops. I want to thank y'all for bearing with this really long video, because I'm pretty sure this is longer than the Labs video, which was 18 minutes or so. So thank you for tuning into this. You will see all the routes drop shortly after this video. Thank you. Later.